WSIC, proud to be part of your community.
Happy Tuesday!
Oh.
You are listening to Community Centered. I'm your host, Debbie O'Hanley, Executive Director of the Hope House, with my co-host and friend, Margi Kyle, founder of Little Smiles, North Carolina. What is putting a smile on your face today, Miss Margi?
Well, we had our golf tournament yesterday.
Okay.
We had the Wine Spectacular Saturday night. And we're just pulling in a lot of money.
Yeah, girl, I'm telling you, you are abundantly blessed,
I
like we like to
am.
say.
I am.
Tell me about the golf tournament. What happened?
Well, we all got there about 8 o'clock, and the weather was gorgeous.
Mhm.
Absolutely gorgeous. And we were at Northstone. Everybody played golf, and as they came in, we had a putting contest. And the head gal at Levine Children's Hospital, her husband won the putting green
Oh,
contest.
awesome.
So that was kind of fun. And then Sam Shriver stood up with a huge check. And Sam is from the Random Acts of Kindness, tour a group of U.S. Coast Guard Academy graduates. And their mission is to help people they don't even know
Oh, wow.
and may never, ever meet. They just truly want to help people in need. And they gave us a check for $18,813. And I just want to say
Wow.
that was the most amazing, amazing part of the day.
That sounds like a whole lot of smiles to
It's
me.
going to.
I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.
What a blessing. And thank you to them for making hope happen in our community and putting a smile on your face and the face of a lot of little ones who are
Yeah.
going to need it. So,
And then we had a spectacular
yeah, we did.
Saturday night
We
at the
did.
Wine Spectacular.
We were both there. That is the Lake Norman Huntersville Rotary
Rotary,
Club,
yeah.
sponsored by them. These fine gents, Sam Janes, Dan Mills, Ron Gamilla, some really great, awesome Connie Burrows, great people in our
Joshua
community.
Dobie, the voice.
Yeah, who has a radio show that I wish I could talk like. Some really just fine people put a whole lot of energy, hard work into making a spectacular evening that benefits not only Little Smiles, but the Hope House Foundation, the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation, and I believe the Lake Norman Health Clinic, and then the Honor Guard.
Yes.
I think those are the ones. And then there was a woman there towards the end of the evening that talked about some water in Sudan, and they said they were going to help her as well. So these are really kind, compassionate, generous folks. We had Dan Mills on our show a couple weeks ago,
Yes.
and they pulled off, once again, a spectacular evening. I know my husband left there a happy camper with some Blanton's bourbon, which I had to have a whole tutorial on as we drove home on one of his auction prizes that he won. But really a great night for great causes.
Yes.
And
yeah.
good to see some hope happening in our community with all the headlines that are out there.
I just am so blown away with the generosity of people today.
Yeah.
Through
I
everything
agree.
that's going on. And I mean, Rotary hasn't, this isn't the first year for us. This is like the 16th year.
Wow.
So I'm just eternally grateful. And
I
our
am
golf
too.
tournament's been going on for, I think, 14 or 15 years.
Incredible, incredible. The generosity, the hope that we're seeing in our community, the smiles that are being made happen by just generous, compassionate, kind people. So I'm excited about our guest today. I promised.
Please don't let me go home with a dog or
I
a cat.
promised my husband
Please.
I would come home empty-handed. We rescued a 96-pound chocolate lab boxer many years ago, who he passed away last June, and we called him our Lammy Pie. And well, our hearts are still hurting because our animals make such a big impact.
do.
Our kids would say, "That's your favorite child." I said, "Yes, because he does not know our ATM passcode, so he gets up.
And
It's
he
good
doesn't
status.
talk back.
He didn't.
He wags his
He
tail
didn't.
all
He was
day
not.
long.
His name was Finn McCool, the gentle giant, and he was not a dog. He was human.
Yeah.
He truly was, and he was something special. So it's going to take us a little while before we get over that. But who knows? We might someday come back to rescuing. But rescue is the way to go, for sure, with all of these animals.
Well, and I took in foster children.
Margie, I did not know that about you.
Yeah, I had 2 foster children. And the first one was 13 years old when she came.
Wow.
And
What else don't I know about you?
I ended up adopting her.
For heaven's sakes.
And yeah, she just was such a blessing
Aw.
to our life.
Yeah.
And then we moved. We were in California, and we moved back to Canada. We kept going back and forth. And I got a little guy who was the same age as Alex. He was about 5 when we got him.
Aw.
And we had him for 2 years, but it was truly a blessing. And I'm sure our guest has gone through this when his parents got their act together,
Mhm.
got married, and wanted their child back.
Aw.
And it was, as much as I hated to give him back, it was an
It was
honor.
it was the
because
right thing to do.
It just felt so good.
Well, I'm curious to find out. I'm going to have a lot of questions about fostering because I think I would just fall in love and have a
You
really
do.
have a really hard time
do.
giving them up.
Yeah.
But like you just said, it was an honor to be
Yeah,
able to be
yeah.
a part of their life and give them the kind of like what we do at Hope House, right? Give them the respite,
That's right.
give them the relief, and give them the hope
Yeah.
to go out there and start a new life, transform their lives.
So doesn't Hope House need a dog?
Wrong on so many levels. We have a lot of needy people, needy children, and
Oh.
needy women in the house. The last thing we need is an animal that needs us. But sometimes on our really worst days, Jen will say to me, "Can't we just close up shop and foster dogs? Can't we just have this as puppies?" So we actually do talk about that a lot too, just because of the healing
Yes.
that animals bring to us, and especially dogs. So we know what's the right thing to do, for sure.
Which is, don't let me do it.
Right. We love visitors. We love animals that can come and visit. That's always a good thing. We have a F3 organization in our community of men that come. And Alan Lloyd, if you're listening, he always brings his turtles and snakes and
Oh
all
my
kinds of
God.
those touchy-feely
Well,
things.
you lost me there.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I'm always wanting to know when Alan's in the house.
Well, we can bring furry friends.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
If you want us to come.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to talk about what that will look like for sure. But, well, sounds like a great weekend.
It was.
You must be exhausted.
I am.
I bet you are. And it's only Tuesday.
Oh my God. Where did you come up with that?
I don't know. I might have been listening to the Justin and Bill hour of their antics early in the morning, and I think I heard the Tuesday. So when we come back from break, we are going to be having a very awesome guest with us today.
I just enjoy her tremendously.
I think that our listeners are going to be excited. If anybody has any questions for her, they can call 844-STUDIO-4 or 844-788-3464. We'll be happy to answer your questions. It's from the Piedmont Animal Rescue. I'm sure there are listeners out there that want to know how they can get involved, how they can help support them. And when we come back from our break, I'm trying to do Josh Topai, but it's not working. you will absolutely
sure don't look like him.
Thank you. You will absolutely be delighted.
I can't wait.
Awesome.
There's more of Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle coming up from the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Want to enjoy a night of magic? Eric Jones, a worldwide award-winning magician, is coming to King Center for the Arts Saturday, October 28th. Buy your tickets before they sell out. canearts.org. Eric Jones, the magician, Saturday, October 28th. canearts.org. Carolina Balloon Fest is this weekend. Day passes to watch the event start at $15. Want to take off in a hot air balloon from Statesville? You can book your ride today. For more info, including ride pricing, visit CarolinaBalloonFest.com. The Carolina Balloon Fest, this weekend near Statesville Regional Airport. CarolinaBalloonFest.com. Pumpkin picking at Kerrigan Farms. Experience the pumpkin patch at Kerrigan Farms by booking your experience now at KerriganFarms.com. KerriganFarms.com for a pumpkin picking adventure. Santa's coming to town. Schedule your time to take pictures of Santa at Birkdale Village. Spots are limited and must be scheduled in advance. Santa will be at Birkdale between November 19th and Christmas Eve. Appointments include time with Santa and 8 digital images from a professional photographer. For more info and to schedule your time with Santa, visit BirkdaleVillage.com. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The Renaissance Festival is back! Saturdays and Sundays now through November 19th. Jousting nights, mermaids, fairies, dragons, oh my! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Mostly sunny skies for your morning. As you head into the afternoon, high temperatures should get up near 66 degrees. Into the evening and overnight hours, partly cloudy skies, and that overnight low is going to get pretty chilly yet again, dropping down to 42 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Community Centered continues now. Here are your hosts, Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle, on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
We are back, and we are so excited because we have a very interesting hour for you. But first, if you have a question for our guest or us, please feel free to call in at 844-STUDIO-4. If you would like to be a guest on our show and are doing something in the community that's different, interesting, we also would like to hear from you. I was at a chamber nonprofit meeting a couple years ago, and I sat down next to Melissa Shoemaker. And I said, "What do you do?" And she told me what she did. And I said, we just connected because I foster kids and you foster dogs.
Yes.
So tell me how you got into your passion.
Well, I have loved dogs ever since I was a child. I was that child that found the stray dog and brought it home and promised my dad I wasn't really feeding it, but I was. And so just always have had a heart for animals. I've fostered on and off for probably over 20 years. And, you know, when you foster, sometimes you do it for a while and then you take a break. So I was on a break because I had an older dog. And sadly, my older dog passed away.
Oh.
I had another dog that was very sad because the dog passed away. And then sadly, 2 weeks later, my sister passed away very
I'm so
unexpectedly.
sorry. Yes.
So there was just a really sad time for me. And we had talked about this a little before the show about how healing pets are for you.
Yes.
And so it was just a time where I said, I think I need to get back into fostering. And I've shared this with you, Margie, but there's a wonderful quote that says, grief is just love with nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And you shared with me about the loss of your dog, and it's like you have all that love and you feel like you need to give it to something. And so my something was fostering again. So I decided to look into organizations, and I found Piedmont Animal Rescue, which is located in Mooresville, North Carolina. And what I love about Piedmont is it's a completely 100% volunteer organization. So we have no paid staff. Everyone's a volunteer.
Yeah.
And it's just a wonderful group of people that all have a passion for animals. And if you see my T-shirt,
I love your T-shirt.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Our motto is where animals come first. And that's really important to always put the animal first. Just like when you're fostering children, the children's welfare
I would take
comes
children
first.
off the street. That's terrible.
Absolutely. You know, you just have to.
My mother would say, "Where did this child come from?" I just brought her home.
They're here for dinner. But it it really is where we put the focus of the animal. Any dollars we raise, any hours we spend are all for the benefit of the animals. So again, back to my reason for fostering is I felt that I wanted to take that kind of unspent love that I had and put it on these dogs. And a lot of people say, well, how do dogs come into rescue? And there's a million reasons why. Some of them are very legitimate reasons where someone will pass away
Yes.
and there's not someone in the family that will take care of the animal. We get dogs that way. People go into assisted living. There's just a myriad of reasons. But a lot of times it is folks that just don't want their dogs anymore for sometimes not very legitimate
Yeah.
reasons, but someone has to take them. And we have local shelters, familiar with animal shelters.
Okay.
We partner with animal shelters as a rescue. So when dogs are brought to the shelter, they only can take the animals they have space for. And it's a sad reality that, if there's not space for these animals, then they sometimes are euthanized. So
Yes.
depending
Yeah.
on the situation. So if rescues like Piedmont can come help bring those animals out into foster homes and get them adopted, then we free up space, but we also give
But what a wonderful experience if you aren't sure whether you really want an animal or not,
Absolutely.
and how your kids will treat them. It's a great way to start.
It really is. And so from the foster side, it's a wonderful experience because you do a good thing within the community. From the animal perspective, it helps us place the animal because we know if they get along with
Yes.
children. We know how they are in a home environment. So it's a win-win for the animal and for the people to have the experience of fostering and helping this animal. And you talked about, how it's difficult to give the child up. It's also difficult to give the dog
I would think
up.
so.
But you also I look at myself and talk with other fosters as you're sort of the bridge between where they start and where they end up.
Sure.
And the whole goal is to get them into a loving home that will take care of them for the rest of their lives.
Speaking of which, is there like a vetting process if you want to become a foster family? Is there like an interview? Do you, how do you determine what is a foster family?
Yeah, that's a great question. And back to Piedmont Animal Rescue, we have a website called piedmontanimalrescue.com. And on there's an application that you fill out to foster. And it asks a lot about, why you want to foster, looking at pets that you have in your home, children you have in your home, what's your home environment like. And so, it's probably maybe a 2 or 3 page application. It doesn't take more than maybe 15, 20 minutes to fill out. But we want to know about you and your family. And then we also do a vet check. So we'll call to be certain that you take care of your current pets, making sure they're spayed and neutered and that they're on monthly preventatives, that you take good care of them, that they sleep inside, not outside, that type of thing. So we look at the application, and then I actually do the foster coordination along with our dog coordinator and other volunteers. But I kind of head that piece of it.
That's got to be very rewarding.
It is. And so then I would reach out to the potential foster, whether it's you or you, and say, let's talk about your application. And I get to know the person over the phone. And then we try to get an idea of, I have little dogs. So I don't necessarily want to foster big dogs because I don't have a big yard. Some people love big dogs.
Yeah.
Currently, we'll talk about this, but I'm fostering puppies. A lot of people love puppies. A lot of people I don't want puppies. So I try to get a feel for the right fit for the foster family so they have a good experience and get the dog that will fit best with their family. And of course, if we know a lot about the dog, then it's easier to put that dog into a family with children. If we're not sure, we're not going to put a dog into a home, and we do not take aggressive dogs. We temper test them, whether through the shelter or through us. So we want to make sure that it's a positive experience for the family and for the animal itself. So.
Now, do you just do dogs or do cats?
We do cats as well.
Bunnies?
Bunnies, horses. I know you mentioned the reptiles. We have some of those sometimes.
No, thank you.
But our main focus are cats and dogs. And I actually am involved on the dog kind of canine side of things. We do have a wonderful cat coordinator that coordinates all of the cat fosters, because cats and dogs, kind of have different needs and different setups and that sort of thing. And so she heads that up. And then we have a dog coordinator, and then I work in conjunction with her to help, place the dogs into the foster home.
So how many are you currently fostering?
Right now we have about 60 dogs in foster.
60?
And we were just recently as high as 80.
Oh my gosh.
And so that's sort of I've been volunteering with Piedmont for a little over 2 years. So in that time period, 80 is about the highest I've seen. But it's because there is such a need in the community. Just to give an idea, we started tracking our owner surrender requests. That's when people ask us to take their dog. We started having them fill out a form on August 1st because we weren't really tracking it. We were just kind of taking what we could. We had 140 owner surrender requests since August 1st. And that's the people that went through the process to fill out the request to take their animal.
Wow.
So you just kind of understand that doesn't count the shelter, and everyone's just overflowing right now. So there's just such a need to really help these animals. So the more fosters we can get, the more animals we can bring in.
How long do you usually foster an animal?
It really depends. Obviously, once a dog is vetted, meaning they've been spayed and neutered and have everything where they're ready to be adopted.
Okay.
If you kind of think about like a younger, smaller dog is probably going to get adopted a little quicker than an older, larger dog. Puppies generally go pretty quickly because everybody's looking for a puppy. But I would say from the time we get a dog until the time of foster, probably a couple weeks. And the longest would be maybe a couple months. So it's not a very long process. And because all of our dogs are in foster care, which is interesting, we don't have a facility. We have an office where we meet, but we have to, if we have a dog, they have to be in someone's home. So if you go on vacation and you're a foster, I have to find someone to cover you while you go on vacation, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So there's some coordination with that. So it's not like you get a dog and you have to have that dog and figure out what to do with it. We'll help you, if you have family obligations or things like that. But on average, a couple weeks, maybe to a month is.
And that way you don't get that attached that you're really torn apart when you have to get.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, do you ever have that where a foster family adopts?
Yes, in fact, that's a great question. Fosters have first opportunity to adopt the dog.
Yeah.
And so before we approve an application that's, say, your dog is available for adoption, you express the interest, and we just say before we approve an application, you need to let us know. And generally, fosters will tell me, I really am getting attached to this. So if we get an application that looks good, because we do a similar thing on the application side where we vet the applications, then we would reach out to the foster and say, okay, before we tell this person they're approved to adopt your dog or to come meet to potentially adopt, do you want to adopt them? And they have the first right to do that.
Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely lovely.
Yep.
Well, we're going to go to commercial break here shortly, but when we come back, we will have more questions on why should I foster.
All right.
And if you have any questions, like Margie said, you can call the studio, 844-STUDIO-4. I'm sure we would be delighted to take your call and answer any questions you might have as you're thinking, do I want to do this?
Mm-hmm.
How
do.
do I? Yes, absolutely. So when we come back, you're listening to Community Centered, and I'm your host, Debbie O'Henley, with my friend and co-host, Margi Kyle of Little Smiles.
More of Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle is coming up on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Fall is here, and Little Shavers has the supplies you need. Wheat straw, pine needle, grass seed, pelletized line, landscape edging, and railroad cross ties. Got a deck that needs staining? Little Shavers has PPG paints and stains at prices you can afford. Fall is a great time to replace your furnace filters at Little Shavers. Get the products you need at reasonable prices from Little Shavers. 3301 Salisbury Road in Statesville.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Mostly sunny skies for your morning. As you head into the afternoon, high temperatures should get up near 66 degrees. Into the evening and overnight hours, partly cloudy skies, and that overnight low is going to get pretty chilly yet again, dropping down to 42 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Hello everyone, this is Joshua Dobie from North Main Financial Group. We're blessed at North Main Financial Group that most of our clients come to us by referral. When folks have a good experience with us, they share that good experience with their friends, family, and colleagues. In doing so, when we're sitting with folks then, we're looking at their financial plan and seeing if it aligns with their goals and their desires for what yet lies ahead, be it college, be it retirement, or be it estate planning. If that sounds of interest to you, we'd love to hear from you. Reach out to us at northmainfinancial.com.
To some, this might sound like a typical family dog. But at Dog Chow, we know that for a veteran suffering from PTSD, this could be the sound of life-saving therapy.
Thanks, Betty.
That's why we've made it our mission to connect every military hero in need with a canine hero of their own. To learn about the simple ways you can help Dog Chow in our mission, visit dogchow.com/veterans.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Now you can get a Walmart Plus membership, plus not pay for it, because it's included with Straight Talk wireless plans. You get free delivery with Walmart Plus, plus a Paramount Plus subscription included. Plus, you pay less for gas. That's a lot of pluses.
Only Straight Talk gives you unlimited 5G data and Walmart Plus included on select plans for free.
Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Requires service on Gold or Platinum Unlimited. One offer per eligible account. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. Additional terms apply.
Live music, vendor booths, and community yard selling. Fun for the whole family returns to Statesville for the WSIC Community Yard Sale, October 28th at 1117 Radio Road. Regular yard sale space is free. Or reserve a premium vendor spot for $50 American.
I have a feeling it's going to be beautiful.
The WSIC Community Yard Sale, October 28th, 6 a.m. till 2 p.m.
Bing, that's the end of that.
Black Powder Coffee is celebrating their 10th anniversary with a medium dark roast blend of Indonesian and South American coffee beans. Enjoy the full-bodied natural flavor notes of chocolate with a bright finish. Get Black Powder Coffee's new anniversary blend today at Black Powder Coffee, 261 Rolling Hill Road, Mooresville, or participating retailers everywhere. Black Powder Coffee.
Folks, you know Randy Marion sells vehicles the King of Price way, but did you know our service department? We service vehicles the King of Price way. We sell tires, we sell brakes, we sell batteries, we sell the maintenance. We help you keep your vehicle on the road safe, ready to drive, whatever the season is. Randy Marion service departments have you covered. Come see us today because, folks, again, you know we sell the King of Price way and we do service the King of Price way.
King of Price, RandyMarionStatesville.com. Call now to speak with Debbie O'Handley and Margi Kyle at 844-STUDIO-4. It's community-centered on WSIC.
Do a little dance. I call you Twinkle Toes.
There you go. Welcome back. You're listening to Community Centered, and I'm your host, Debbie O'Hanley, with my friend Margi Kyle. We are streaming live on WSICnews.com and all of your social media, Facebook, Twitter, X, LinkedIn, all that good stuff. You can find and listen to what we're doing. And if you missed today's show, you can always come back and listen to it on WSICnews.com. So, now that we've come back from our little break, we were talking at the break about volunteer opportunities, or what that means to be a volunteer with the Piedmont Animal Rescue. So, Melissa, can take it away.
Well, obviously, we're talking about fostering, and we need fosters. But a lot of folks say we really want to volunteer, not just they can't maybe foster at this time. So we do need volunteers as well. And on that same website I had mentioned, the PiedmontAnimalRescue.com,
Right.
it's actually a volunteer tab that you go to fill out the adoption application, but for dogs. But then there's also just a general volunteer.
Perfect.
So if you're not so sure about fostering, we have various events we need help with, and just a myriad of things that we don't have an actual facility, as I mentioned, so we don't have dogs to take care of there, but we have various needs for events and helping fosters out.
I know that when I was fostering kids, the first thing that came to me was there any financial assistance?
Right. Yep.
Because getting a 13-year-old girl, I didn't know what I was in for.
And that's a
So,
great question.
yeah.
As a foster, we provide everything to the foster
Okay.
family that they need. We provide a crate if they need a crate. We provide toys, food. All of the vet care is covered. We
Okay.
talked about in the last segment about having the dog vetted, being spayed and neutered, making sure they have all their shots, etc. And just to be clear, all the dogs will have all their shots before they come into the home. We don't put a dog that doesn't have a rabies vaccination
Right.
or all that.
Yeah.
So their initial shots are taken care of, but ongoing care that they need. And so the foster, we coordinate the spay and neuter appointment at vets that we use. So the foster will take them to that appointment, but they bill us. It's not, there's no financial obligation to the foster
So,
themselves.
and that's important if somebody's looking forward and really wants to foster, but financially can't take the burden right now.
And
You
and you
know.
mentioned, hope and or just time and love is
Yeah.
really what they need.
Yes.
So it's really providing them, as we talked about that bridge. You're just giving them
You're
a
sounding
home.
more and more convincing, Melissa.
Have I convinced you yet? We've still got a little more time.
I think so. Goodness gracious.
Should we look at a puppy?
Yes, and so I'd love to share with you. In addition to coordinating fosters, I actually foster, and one of my currently I'm fostering a mama dog, who actually was heartworm positive. She has been treated. She's about, we guess, around 2 years old. She was dropped at a local shelter, so they reached out to us because she had four 4-day-old puppies. I got them when they were 5 days old.
Oh,
So
cute.
she has 4 little baby puppies. And obviously, if a dog like Mama in the shelter with 4 little puppies, it's not going to be the best environment. So
These
they-
are the puppies.
Yep, these
Oh
are the
my
puppies.
God.
Yep, and we like to have a little fun with them, so I've named them the spice litter. So Mama is sriracha, and we have basil, saffron, clove, pepper, and did I get them all? Saffron. Yeah.
so cute.
And we've had all kinds. My very first litter of puppies that was actually born at my house. The mama was
That could
named
be turmeric.
Oh yeah, that's actually basil, but was named Princess. So we named all of the puppies after Disney princesses and princes and all. And so that was my first experience with that. And
Oh, you
it
must
was
be
wonderful.
having a
Yeah.
ball with
So-
all these little puppies.
It is great. And I do foster dogs as well. And so when you talked about the foster having the first option to adopt a dog,
Right.
we talked about how we get dogs sometimes. And one of the things that happens a lot in our community, And really a lot more rural areas are like hoarding, where people have multiple, 20, 30, 40 dogs on their
Oh
property.
my gosh. No, that's more than I could handle.
And so animal control will come because you can't have that many dogs and they're not generally getting the care they need. Well, there was a little dog that came from a hoarding situation. He was not my foster, he was someone else's, but I vacation fostered him while they were on vacation. I kind of filled in for them. And his name was Piglet, and he came to, and he came with that name, and you'll see why in a second. But he came to us with the mange. He had heartworms. He was just a really, really sad case, and we see some sad cases. We got the cute puppies, but we also see the piglets of the world. And Piglet stole my heart when he came to my house. He smelled terrible. He looked terrible.
Is this Piglet?
This is Piglet. And so we have a before and after. This is Piglet about 2 years ago. And I adopted Piglet, and this is Piglet today. So you can see the little happy smile. The ears down. He was really in a lot. You can see his swollen face, but he's been treated, and his hair will never grow back. This little guy is only 4 years old. He looks much older, but he had a really rough start.
Bless
but
him.
he has a really good life now. so that's he was my foster fail. But I have probably fostered, gosh, at least 30, 40 dogs in the last 2 years with Piedmont, because a lot of it's litters of puppies.
Yeah.
But the volunteer and foster network that we have is just unbelievable. And we really try to, using the cliche, foster a spirit of working together too. So fosters help other fosters out.
Yeah.
And I know that happens with children too.
It does.
Where you need that support. If you've never fostered a puppy, what do I do?
Yeah.
And so we actually have a private foster Facebook page where people can ask questions. I can hook up a foster if it's a first time, with a more experienced foster. If they have some questions, they can reach out to me. So we really want to support our foster community because that's the only way that we can save the animals.
That's
is
right.
To have the fosters.
That's right.
I might put you on the spot with this question, Melissa, so feel free to pass on it. But
sure.
A lot of times what we see when we're screening folks who are living homeless, they have an animal with them. And believe it or not, every case that I've interviewed, someone with a dog will not give up the dog. The dog, this is that hope and healing piece we talk about, right? And how restoring that is. But has there ever, or would you ever consider an opportunity if we're taking a homeless person in for 6 months at the Hope House, having that animal fostered while they're in there, while they get back up on their feet, and then being reunited with the animal during the end of that 6 months?
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not in a position to do that because if we did that, then we would have that foster tied up. So we can't. Our mission is really to help dogs transition to a permanent home.
Right.
I could see where a need is there, but if you think about it, if a foster is tied up for 6 months, in 6 months, as I mentioned, say it's an average of a month, they could bring 6 dogs out of a shelter as opposed, and those dogs transition to a home.
Right.
Now we do provide help if someone comes to us and they're trying to keep their dog, then we can provide resources to them, maybe give some guidance to them on how they may be able to keep their dogs. In fact, some other local charities have given me some good ideas. I guess I can mention like Feed NC said to me, well, gosh, if you have somebody that comes to you and they can't keep their dog, but if we can help them with groceries and we can help offset some cost, maybe we can provide some dog food assistance or things like that, then maybe that person can keep that dog as opposed to, because it's kind of helping the whole family.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Not just the dog, because that way if the family is a little stronger financially and is getting some assistance, then maybe they can keep their animal.
Absolutely. Well, when we come back, we're going to go to this is flying by today. I don't know if it's the puppies or what, but it's really amazing.
Because we're having a hard time not taking one.
I know.
I got a whole car full of dogs.
I only have 15 more minutes to say no, but you can call the studio at 844-STUDIO-4 or 844-788-3464. She's breaking me down, people. This is Melissa. When we come back, we're listening to Melissa with Piedmont Animal Rescue and my friend Margi, trying to put a smile on your face.
with the puppy.
Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle will return after this short break on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Want to enjoy a night of magic? Eric Jones, a worldwide award-winning magician, is coming to King Center for the Arts Saturday, October 28th. Buy your tickets before they sell out. canearts.org. Eric Jones, the magician, Saturday, October 28th. canearts.org. Carolina Balloon Fest is this weekend. Day passes to watch the event start at $15. Want to take off in a hot air balloon from Statesville? You can book your ride today. For more info, including ride pricing, visit CarolinaBalloonFest.com. The Carolina Balloon Fest, this weekend near Statesville Regional Airport. CarolinaBalloonFest.com. Pumpkin picking at Kerrigan Farms. Experience the pumpkin patch at Kerrigan Farms by booking your experience now at KerriganFarms.com. KerriganFarms.com for a pumpkin picking adventure. Santa's coming to town. Schedule your time to take pictures of Santa at Birkdale Village. Spots are limited and must be scheduled in advance. Santa will be at Birkdale between November 19th and Christmas Eve. Appointments include time with Santa and 8 digital images from a professional photographer. For more info and to schedule your time with Santa, visit BirkdaleVillage.com. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on Events to submit your event today.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays now through November 19th. Save your dates. Don't miss the Renaissance Festival. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Mostly sunny skies for your morning. As you head into the afternoon, high temperatures should get up near 66 degrees. Into the evening and overnight hours, partly cloudy skies, and that overnight low is going to get pretty chilly yet again, dropping down to 42 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Stop dreaming about the perfect lawn and make it a reality. Drum Landscape Supply now offers personalized lawn plans. Visit drumlandscapesupply.com and collaborate with our experts. Drum Landscape Supply, your local one-stop landscape shop.
Now more of Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back. You're listening to Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle, and we are listening to Melissa with Piedmont Animal Rescue, and I have not signed any paperwork as of this moment.
But your
to
husband would be
foster.
relieved if you said you're just fostering a dog.
He's in Chicago, and when he comes home, he would not be a happy camper. But honestly, it is.
You could
it is
foster. When's he coming back?
Friday.
Well, you've got time, doesn't she?
She knows where to go to fill out the
I
application.
do. I know how to go to PiedmontAnimalRescue.com
Yes, ma'am.
and fill out that either volunteer application or adopt, or foster. I was just thinking at Hope House, we get so many people that want to volunteer, and sometimes currently we don't have a need. If there isn't kids to tutor or do whatever, I could always say, listen, if you're looking to do something in our community that will make hope happen, contact these folks.
You
So
know,
that's
I
what I'm
think
going to be
that
saying.
would be wonderful for children to do too.
Absolutely. And we
Teenagers,
and we
yeah.
can have children volunteer, but under 16 they have to have a parent with them.
Okay.
Over 16 they can volunteer at events and
Okay,
things on their own.
which I
So
think is
that's
a great way
important.
to introduce them into what it takes to have an animal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we kind of talked again too about your why.
Mhm.
You foster. I mean, I've shared my why, and it's important to me. I think the biggest thing is, everybody says, "Oh, it's so wonderful that you foster," and I said, "Yeah, but these dogs give me back probably more, on my days where I'm stressed and I can go in and just snuggle a little puppy, and also get the joy of having puppies, but not have to be their full-time
That's right.
caregiver, knowing they're going on to someone else. I mean, kind of like a grandparent or an aunt or something. You kind of
It's a
get
good way to put
the
it.
joy of it, but then
Go see mommy.
Yeah, but then they get a permanent home somewhere else, and we do have a lot of families that are at a point. Like I'll give an example. One of our newest fosters, they lost their dog, and their children really want a dog, but they're not really ready for a dog. But they fostered 2 dogs with us, so the children get the also volunteer experience of doing good, but they're feeling that need of having a dog. And I know this family, when they find the right dog at the right time, they probably will adopt, but that's not their purpose right now.
That's right.
Is to help their children have a pet, take care of a pet. And then when that right dog comes along, as we mentioned, as a foster, they would have the first right to actually adopt that dog.
I think that's a marvelous opportunity for Justin and Demi to think about adopting one of these little baby Basil or Pepper. I think that would be a wonderful opportunity.
He's going to come through the door.
And I'll tell you, and that's a great little segue as well, is, we share these beautiful puppies. As of Thursday, these puppies and mama will be getting spayed and neutered.
Yeah.
So they will be available at the same website, PiedmontAnimalRescue.com, the Adopt tab. We have all of our adoptable animals, cats, dogs. So they're not on there right now, but they will be on within the next few days, because once they're spayed and neutered, then we will take applications for them. So there's also the adopt piece. We have the foster,
so you
but
could
the
go
ultimate
on your
goal.
website and actually see the animals.
Yes, we have
Okay.
on our website, as we mentioned, we have a volunteer button, but then
Okay.
you click on adopt and you'll see all of the current adoptables.
Okay.
But I say keep going back, because these guys
it
aren't on
changes.
there
Yeah,
today,
Yeah.
but they'll be on
That's
there
right.
in a couple days.
Yeah.
Sounds like you, with all the expenses that you pay and the financial assistance, how do you raise money?
Well, we have wonderful community of donors, as you have mentioned, just
Yeah.
generous people in the community. We have a lot of events throughout the year. In fact, we have 2 events coming up. One, if you're familiar with Chickadee Hill Farms in Troutman, they do a Christmas tree festival. That's the day after Thanksgiving, November 24th, and it goes through the following Saturday.
Okay.
And so a portion of the proceeds that they have will come from the event will come to Piedmont. We have in January, we have a casino night coming up, and it's called Wags to Riches. And so we're excited
Very
about
clever.
that. We just had an event 2 weeks ago called Food, Brew, and Rescue at the Iredell County Fairgrounds. But the biggest support that we get are from, as we mentioned, we've got foster opportunities, volunteer opportunities. Some people can't do those, but they want to donate. They want to
Yes.
help the mission
Yeah.
that we're doing. We have a lot of monthly supporters. We have over 40,000 followers on our social media. And so we always say, if everybody gave $1 per month,
yeah.
it would just be huge. And,
Yes.
we put out on our, and that's another thing to mention, our social media sites, Piedmont Animal Rescue on Facebook and
Okay.
Instagram.
Okay.
Because we post these dogs and cats.
Oh, dear.
We post we post adoption stories, so you get to see them from beginning to end. But we also put out our various events on our social media, and we have wonderful folks that share.
Well, there's
all of
obviously
it.
such a need for what you're doing.
There is. There really is. And so again, every dollar helps us, and every dollar goes straight to the animals.
And I think
so.
what happened too was with COVID, people rushed out to fill that void and they got an animal, and then all of a sudden their life got crazy again, and they don't.
Or they went back to work, or
they
the kids went back
yeah,
to school,
yeah.
and then the dog was alone.
But interesting, that is a good point. But we also see, I think with the shift, so many people still do work from home. And so that's an excellent opportunity to foster. To plug my foster again, but it is true because you're working from home, so you have a
Okay.
pet.
Yeah.
So there is that side of it, which is
Okay.
kind of why we may get some dogs, but there's still a lot of people, I think now, are still working from home or have flexible work schedules. So that's a great opportunity to foster
Okay.
as well.
Absolutely. My gosh, I learned a lot. How about you, Margie?
I did.
I know. And I feel
And I
good.
haven't said yes yet, so I'm so happy.
But that's okay. We're not done.
I even
Even
my
when the
dog
program's
collar.
over, even when the program is over, we're not done.
I don't see any application in her purse, Margie, so I think we're good for right now.
This is the
But
last time I'm sitting next to her at the Rotary meeting.
I bet. Well, honestly, we hope that this station that we have here at WSIC can provide hope and healing to folks and put a smile back in your life. And just talking to you today, Melissa, has been a delight. I feel
Yeah.
very
Thank you.
hopeful. I know that I've smiled a lot. I feel really great about what you're doing in our community and the generosity, again, that we're
Yeah.
seeing, when there's so many negative things we could be talking about good stuff here, people. And if there is a need that you need fulfilled, or you need something to love on, or feel like you want to volunteer or foster, you can always call 844-788-3464. We will get you in touch with Melissa and her fabulous organization.
Absolutely.
Those little babies, those little puppies are so stinking cute, but they
Yes.
look so tiny. How big are they?
They range from about 3 pounds to right under 5 pounds. So they're small. Mama is only about 10 pounds. So they're little tiny puppies. Yes, they are. But they're just, like I said, just 5 of the dogs that we had available. As I mentioned, we've got about 60 dogs in foster currently. Not all of them are available for adoption, but again, they will come available. And one thing to just touch on real quick that I was talking with some of your folks prior is so many people think in rescue, I'll just get a mutt and rescue, and there's nothing wrong with a mutt. I have one. Love them. I think they're the best dogs, but certain people really want a specific breed.
Yes.
And understand that we see every dog through rescue. We see doodles, we see Rottweilers, we see
Well, especially if they have special needs,
Cocker
like
Spaniels.
allergies.
We see all types of dogs, just purebred
Yeah.
dogs that someone got and now they don't have time for it. It was a puppy and we didn't realize it was going to be a big dog. Or sometimes their family situation changes, they divorce, jobs change, things happen.
Yeah.
And so we end up with all types of dogs in rescue. And again, I think whatever you're looking for, whether it's at Piedmont Animal Rescue or another rescue organization, we're so supportive of the rescue community because there is such a need for animals to find their forever home.
Yeah.
So.
If someone had some things, let's say their animal passed away and they had items that they wanted to donate,
Yes.
is that something that you would take?
Yes, that's a great question. We talked about monetary donations, but we are very accepting of food donations. A lot of times dogs are on prescription food, older dogs, but when their dog passes, they don't know what to do with
Or
it.
even if they've grown out of their crate.
They've grown out of their crate or for a myriad of reasons. And so, yes, absolutely. And just, we mentioned our website, but we're located in Mooresville at 228 East Waterland Road. Close to where Lake Norman Regional Hospital is.
Yes.
So we do have an office there, and we accept donations. We have a covered porch. In fact, we had a wonderful Girl Scout that built us a big donation box for one of her projects is right out front.
Okay.
So if it's smaller items, they can go into that donation
Great.
box. If not, larger items as big as crates can go on our front porch.
Okay.
We do have an Amazon wish list, so we put that on our social media pages. So sometimes people want to, say buy a bag of food or a couple bags of food,
Yeah.
and they can be shipped directly to us, and that helps us, support these animals
That's great.
as well. So,
Wonderful.
Well,
Good
it's
to
a
know.
win-win situation.
absolutely. And I think back to the why is you've got such a great opportunity to help animals, but you get so much back. But when you see that animal with that new family that maybe lost their dog and they're sad, or their children are just so excited, you saw that dog come in, and then you see that transition, kind of like my piglet,
Yeah.
and you see that happiness on the backside, makes it all
I
worthwhile.
bet it comes full
Yeah,
circle.
It really
does.
does.
Melissa, you have been a delight today. I want to thank you for what you do for our animal friends and for our people friends in the community. It really seems like you are fitting and fulfilling a need that we have in our community to make hope happen. You've put a smile on my face. I see my friend Margie smiling.
Good.
Neither one of us signed anything. Bill hasn't signed anything. His
I
hands
haven't
are in his
gone on the
pockets.
website yet.
Bill's hands are in his pockets, so we're good so far. But I just think that there is somebody listening today, I know for sure, that is going to be calling you
I
and
hope so.
saying they want to either be a volunteer or adopt or foster.
Yes.
Melissa with Piedmont Animal Rescue. Call her. Thank you. Have a great week.
Thank you.
The new 105.